guys, how we doing? Gotta stop listening to this. Start the video. That was K-pop. I got recommended this video idea, and it was to review the brand new album by singer, songwriter, performer Travis Scott. Forgive me if I sound a lot like Anthony Fantano. He's my clear inspiration here, but I will show you this because it was not my idea. But this guy, Weston, said, Baylor, can we get a Utopia review? And you know what? If it were just some random album by some random hipster rapper that I had no idea was, then I probably wouldn't do it. But I did listen to Utopia the day it came out. Not at 12 o'clock, but like right when I woke up. And I've got some thoughts on it. I listened to the whole album, and I think I'm gonna go track by track because I feel like that would be the best way to do it. Forgive me if I stutter, because that's just an ongoing struggle. But yeah, Utopia. I'm not gonna say if it's good or bad because that'll kind of ruin it. But I'm gonna be rating all these songs out of 10 as we go. So yeah, I'm excited to get into this review. The first track off the album is Hyena. Oh my god, and it might just be the best track of the album. Also, if you couldn't tell, got my Cactus Jack shirt on right here. I wore that on the day the album came out to show my support. Yeah, this song is incredible, and I wasn't even thinking about listening to the whole album, like the first day, but when I heard the intro where it was like, the situation we are in at this time, neither a good one. Like, when I heard that, I was hooked. Like, I was like, what? This sounds crazy. And it really set the tone for the rest of the album. This track was fantastic. I love Hyena. The ending is perfect. The middle is perfect. The beginning is perfect. Everything about it is perfect. Screw it. I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. I absolutely love this track. And then after that, we got Thank God. Just a fantastic track. Well, I don't think it's as good as Hyena. There aren't many tracks on this album that are better, so I'm just going to get that out of the way. Thank God is a great track, but I do prefer the ending where you got the violins in the background. I think that's where it starts to get really good. But it is a very good song, one of my personal favorites off the album. I think this is definitely one of those songs that'll just make you levitate. So I will give it a 8.7 out of 10. It's not like one of my favorite, like it's not top 5, but it's really good, and it did disappoint. And then after that, you got Modern Jam. The energy here is just insane. I just absolutely love the ad-libs that he does. It is just an incredible song, one of my personal favorites on the album. I think we get the first feature here, I'm not sure. But with Tizo Touchdown, it's just incredible. It definitely reminds you of something off of Yeezus. I'll give it like a 9.2 out of 10. And then after that, My Eyes. I absolutely love this song. This is my favorite song off the album. Not only that, it might just be my favorite Travis Scott song ever. Before that, it was 90210, but My Eyes is just incredible. It's a Frank Ocean song. It really is. It really is a Frank Ocean song. But you still love it. But Travis Scott was great in this song. You know, like, I know a lot of people say it sounds like Frank Ocean, and that's true, like I just said it was. But I will say, like, you know, Travis still is good in his own way on this track. The Bon Iver and Sampha features are just incredible. I absolutely love them on this track. And also, the verse at the end, the beat switch up, is just amazing. I love how he references what happened at the Astroworld tragedy. I thought that was probably the best way to address it. And also, you know, you don't really know what you're hearing when you first listen to it because he's rapping so fast, but he not only references that, he also references Kylie Jenner. So clearly, this is probably Travis Scott's most personal song to date, and I just absolutely love it. Favorite song off the album, 10 out of 10. And then we go from what is my favorite track off the album to what is probably my least favorite track, God's Country. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of interesting, though. This was a instrumental that Kanye used on Yandi, but that, of course, we all know that was never released. And also, God's Country was the name of an album he was going to make, but then that later turned into Donda, so I guess it was kind of the same thing as that. And, that album, God's Country, was going to have the song with Travis Scott on it called Wash Us in the Blood. That's kind of all I know about it, though. Um, and I was excited to see what it was. I thought this was the one song that Kanye would probably be on. But sadly, it wasn't. He did not appear on this album. But you know what? That's fine. He dropped a song with Fabio Foreign this year that might be one of the worst things I've ever heard. So maybe he needs to settle down a little bit. Okay, so maybe that's the answer. But God's Country has a very interesting instrumental. But I think that's all I can really give it because, like, Travis Scott saying God's Country, This Is War. That's exactly what Kanye said on that unreleased song. I just feel like it's fine, but if there's one song on this album that I come back to the least, it's probably this. I mean, it's not replayable because it's not that long, and I do like the instrumental, but it's just, I don't know, compared to some of the other tracks on this album, it really just isn't as good. So I'll give it like a 5 out of 10, but maybe it'll grow on me, you never know. Then after that, you have arguably one of the greatest songs Travis has ever made, Sirens. Oh, it's just fantastic. I remember the first time I was listening to this track, I was just cheering at the beat. Like, the beat was amazing. I had never heard anything like it. And, I just got so excited for Travis to just rap on this track. And it sounded simply incredible. I absolutely loved it. Sirens is definitely one of my favorite tracks on the album for sure. And hearing, like, the Drake tease at the end was great. And seeing everyone's reaction to that, which eventually led into Meltdown, where Drake started off the song. It was just incredible. 10 out of 10. I love Sirens. And then after that, we got Meltdown. Might be a hot take, but I kind of consider this Sicko Mode Part 2. Obviously it's not better than Sicko Mode, but it feels like that because it starts off with Drake, and then there's a beat switch up. It just kind of reminds me of it. But it's a great song, and Drake's verse, I feel like even the biggest haters of him cannot deny that it's a pretty great verse because it is great. That's the part of the song that I always come back to. I really do enjoy Meltdown. Not one of my top 5. It's not a top 5er on the album for me, but it is very good, and I think I'll give it like a 9 out of 10. And then after that, we got Fiend, a track that I didn't really love the first time I heard it, but it's definitely growing on me. Playboy Cardi is just unrecognizable on this track, but nonetheless, he does a good job on it. It's a nice track. I know a lot of people say this is the best song on it. I don't think so, but I certainly love it a lot more than I did before. Very good song. It's enjoyable, The instrumental's great, and Playboy Cardi's nice on it too, and I cannot believe that it was Travis Scott who was doing the chorus, because that sounds exactly like Cardi. I still am in awe that that's actually Travis. I guess he must have pitched up his voice or something, but it just sounds nothing like him. But my official rating for that track would probably be 8.7. I like it. It's good. And then there's how do you say it? Del Resto. Yeah, Del Resto Echoes. I was surprised to hear Beyonce on this album, but it was a welcome surprise nonetheless. She just killed it. I mean, I think the one flaw I have with this track is that I think Beyonce is singing on it way too much to be a feature. At this point, I kind of just think of it as her song because Travis Scott isn't bad on it, but like he doesn't do as much as Beyonce does. That's all I'm saying. But I think it was Charlie Wilson at the end, who did the "Hey, now you will report to me," and that was probably my favorite part of the track. I'm not sure who it is though, because the features were hidden at first, but now like they're open as you can see, and it only says Beyonce, so I'm not sure if it was just a hidden feature or if that's actually him or not. But it was a really nice part of the song. Overall, I give this an 8.6. It's not one of my personal favorites, but as I said, Beyonce really kills it, and she kills it enough for me to think like if I was listening to this track, I would think that Travis Scott is a feature because she is just electric on it. I know. What a great track. The piano on this, like when it starts off the track with a boom, 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 like that is just, it's just incredible. I know it is easily one of the best tracks on the album. It's just fantastic. And Travis, I feel like the lyrics and what he's trying to say is so interesting enough that you don't need a feature. and he didn't even put one on here, which makes sense because Travis carries it, and this is his song. Like, I know a lot of people say that Kanye like could have rapped on all these tracks, but I feel like this is a track like a true Travis Scott song, and I'm glad it was just him because his vocals and his lyrics were just so interesting on this track, and I think it just carried the whole thing. So 10 out of 10, easily one of my favorites of this album, and I've been listening to it so much since the album premiered. I see too many people hating on Topia Twins. This is easily one of my favorites off the album. 21 Savage just fucking kills it. He is just amazing on it. And you know, there was a time where I think I was listening to it for like the second or third time, and I was already singing along to that chorus because it's just so infectious. I absolutely love it. 21 Savage is great on it, and Travis Scott is equally amazing as well. It's a great track, 9 out of 10. And then after that, you got Circus Maximus. Now, yes, this does sound exactly like Black Skinhead, like the drumming does, but I feel like it changes itself up a lot, because I feel like the tone of this song is nowhere near what Black Skinhead was, because Black Skinhead is kind of a dark song. This one, I feel like I'm not saying it's uplifting or anything, but it's more beautiful. Like, it's like The Weeknd. Holy crap. Like, he was good on K-pop, but this track, he absolutely kills it. Like, The Weeknd is featured on so many songs, I was like, alright, let's see what he does. But I was surprised, I'm surprised to say, he did a fantastic job on this track. Like, his vocals were just incredible. And you know what? Travis Scott rapping over a Kanye West type beat, there's nothing wrong with that. He fits the part just as much as Ye does. I absolutely love this track. I feel like it gets too much hate. I think it's actually really good. And it's also the title of a movie that Travis Scott released in select theaters called Circus Maximus. It's not really a movie, I'd say. I think it's just kind of like, it's like the short film that Kanye made called Runaway. It's just a bunch of music videos, I'm pretty sure, but I could be wrong. And I forgot to pause it. Sorry. But I could be wrong. Circus Maximus, I think I give like a 9.3 out of 10. It's not perfect, but it's really good, and I think it gets better like each time you listen to it. I'll say that. I stand tall. I fall down. I get up. Why the hell is Dave Chappelle on this track? I had no idea. I thought it was just some random cowboy when I first heard it. Yeah, Dave Chappelle's on this track, and I'm a huge fan of Dave Chappelle. His stand-up is hilarious, and the Chappelle Show on Comedy Central was just, oh my god, it's incredible. It's incredible. It's better than Saturday Night Live. Screw it, I said it. But he's on this, and he does a good job, you know. He does like a spoken word poem. I didn't really like this at first, but I'm starting to like it more. I don't really think of it as a song per se, because it's really short and it's got that narration from Dave Chappelle, so I kind of think of it as an interlude, but it is interesting nonetheless, and I feel like the instrumental was really captivating the first time I heard it, and yeah, I really do like it. I would probably give it like an 8.5 out of 10 because it doesn't last that long, but it still is a really good song. Next up, we got Schizo. I think it was a track that I kind of slept on the first time I heard it, but I wasn't sure if it was just me or not, but, you know, Schizo's great. I love the part where he's like, hey, me, I'm moving nights so they really can't see me. Like, it starts off great, but nothing could prepare me for, like, the last minute and a half of the track. The beat at the end of this song is absolutely incredible. Oh my god, it's so good. It is just fantastic. And then that part where he says, I'm loyal, bitch, I've got Ye over Biden. Not only does it fit with the beat so well, like he's just floating on this beat at this point, but it's just a great line. You know, one of the few lines that I really picked up the first time I was listening to it. Oh my god, it was amazing. I think for that last part alone, I'll give it like a 9.2 out of 10. It really is an incredible song. And then next up, we've got Lost Forever. Words cannot explain how great this instrumental was. Apparently, this was a song that was leaked before the album was released. It was like one of the things that people wanted to hear most on this album, and I had no idea about any of those things, so I just kind of went into the song blindly, and it was so incredible. The instrumental is just, oh, So good. And then West Side Gun. A lot of people were complaining that this, like, the beat switched up when he did his verse. I thought it fit, but yeah, you're right. The instrumental is too good to be wasted on. Lost Forever is perfect. I absolutely love the track and expect it in my newest movie because you just might hear it. Anyways, but yeah, Lost Forever is fantastic. 10 out of 10. I don't really know why I'm still speaking. Also, make sure to watch my new movie. I think it's coming out pretty soon, and I think you guys will really like it. But yeah, 10 out of 10. Lost Forever is a top 5 on this album, no question. Then you got Love. I think it's one of the more forgettable tracks on the album, but I was really happy to hear Kid Cudi on it. I always think him and Travis Scott are just a great duo. Yeah, it's a good track. I feel like it's underrated, but I don't listen to it as much as the others. Maybe it just hasn't came up on shuffle as much, but it really is a great song. One of my favorites off the album. Well, no, I don't know. I wouldn't even put it top 10, but I mean most of these are all pretty good. So I'll just say pretty good. I like it. Then we got K-pop. Crap, rewind. I forgot to rate Love. I will give that like a 8. Yeah, I'll give it an 8. Screw it. Alright, on to the next one. K-pop. This is a good song. I don't know why people hate on it, you know? I mean, there's literally like a minute-long verse of a guy, of Bad Bunny speaking Spanish, but I'm vibing with it, you know? I still think it's good. The instrumental is fantastic, but, and this is a big but, Nicki Minaj size. I would like to say that if you're going to release a single before Utopia, I would probably pick something else. Like, obviously not something like Meltdown, because that's something you need to experience with the album. But, like, I don't know if K-pop's the one that you want to do. I'd feel like Circus Maximus would hype people up more. Or, like, God's Country. I mean, I know that's probably my least favorite track, but people would probably like that more. Modern Jam or Thank God. Like, there's a lot of other tracks you could have previewed for this album other than K-pop. And, you know, a lot of people didn't expect this album to be good because of that single. And I feel like, you know, it ended up being really good, but I feel like people's expectations were just a little lowered because of this track, which I personally think is good. But I totally agree that it probably should not have been the single off of this album. But, you know what? It's fine. It's fine. All in all, I think I would give K-pop like a 8.5 out of 10. I haven't listened to it that much, but from what I've heard, well, I've heard all of it multiple times, but not that many times. I would give it an 8.5 out of 10. It's a pretty enjoyable song. And then we got Telekinesis. Listen. If this song doesn't make you levitate, I truly don't know what will. Because this track is absolutely fantastic. This track is, it's so good. So good. I love the chorus. And also people are saying, like, that he should have put Kanye on this one. But, like, no. Have you guys listened to Kanye's version of this track? It's not good. He's just mumbling a lot. It's not great. The one that we got is the one that I love. SZA on it is just incredible. Future is great too. It's just an incredible track. I would give it like a 9.5 out of 10. It's really good. And then for the last track on the album, we have Till Further Notice. I gotta admit, while I like it now, I feel like the last the last 10, not 10. I was more interested, like, when you listen to an album, I don't know if this is just me, but, like, I always focus on, like, the first 4 tracks. Like, that's what I know by heart at that point. And I kind of forget some of the other tracks. So, like, the last couple tracks I kind of forgot about. I listened to them more, and I like them now. But I didn't really love this section the first time I heard it, but I do like it now. So, you got my real review on it. Till Further Notice was a track that I really liked. Even the first time I listened to it, I thought it was a nice way to close the album. And it's kind of just Travis Scott saying, hey, I might release again, I might not. And I thought Till Further Notice was a great title for the ending track of the album. And I like that Metro Boomin was the guy that produced this. It's a pretty good song. I like it. I wouldn't say it's the best, but I like the chorus a lot, and it's got a pretty nice instrumental. So, what have we learned today? We've learned that Till Further Notice is a 8.6 I'll just say that because I totally forgot to throw out the rating for that song. What have we learned today? Utopia is a very creative and underrated album by Travis Scott, and I feel like a lot of people hate on it too much and say that it's not one of his better albums, when I know I've only heard Rodeo, but from what I heard of this, it's really addicting. Like, tracks like Thank God, Hyena, Modern Jam, I Know, Del Resto, I hope I'm saying that right, Topia Twins, Circus Maximus, and there are probably more that I'm not thinking about, but tracks like those are so infectious, and you really want to hear them again, and if you're a true fan of Travis Scott, I know that you probably weren't disappointed by this album, because it's just what he does. And then, I gotta admit, the hype was real. This is a very good album, and I really feel like it doesn't have that many skits, and it's truly the album of the year, I think, if you know me, you know I really like the Lil Yachty album, Let's Start Here, but I am a very big fan of this album, day one supporter, and I will defend it with my life. I think it's a very good album, and I'm feeling a light 10 to a strong 9. I'll go strong 9 on this record. Transition. What did you think about this what do you think about this album? You're the best. You're the best. Thank you for subscribing. Make sure to watch my new movie once it comes out. And this is definitely a ripoff of Anthony Fantano, but he's the only album reviewer I know, so I didn't really know how I was supposed to do this. I'm glad I got to review all the songs because I'm fucking with this album. I really am. I think it's a really good album. But if you guys don't like it, feel free to voice your opinions in the comments. See you guys.